Welcome back, Truth Seekers. Zach here. In the headlines, April 3rd, 2017, it was reported that a young woman died during a pancake eating competition, and she was the daughter of a September 11th hero who passed away when the buildings collapsed on him. Now think about this. What we've been told about the collapse of the World Trade Centers on September 11th is the explanation of why the buildings fell is known as the pancake theory. They say like a stack of pancakes, the weight of the buildings collapsed in on themselves because the steel was heated by the jet fuel. If you're awake, you know this is bogus propaganda, and those buildings were taken down with demolitions or some type of advanced weaponry. This is a mocking. This story coming April 3rd, 2017, the story of a woman related to a hero who died in the collapse of the towers, dying from a pancake eating competition. I'm going to show you just how bad this is and why this news came April 3rd, 2017, the 93rd day of the year. I want to begin right here with the gematria of Pancake Eating Contest. If you're new to my channel, the language of gematria is the ancient practice of coding numbers into words. It's one of the best kept secrets from we English-speaking people. Our entire alphabet is a numerical counting system, and it's why so many words are spelled nonsensically. They're spelled for their mathematic values. Anyhow, Pancake Eating Contest sums to 77, just like September 11th, just like World Trade Center, which came down with the pancake collapse theory, the pancake theory. United States also has gematria of 77, very special number. On September 11th, they say Flight 77 flew into the Pentagon, but not many people know that the Pentagon is 77 feet tall, or that it's on the 77th meridian. And if you take the time to read the 9/11 Commission report, it says that Flight 77 departed at 8:20 and crashed into the Pentagon at 9:37. That's 77 minutes later. Flight 77, after 77 minutes taking off, crashed into the 77-foot-tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian on September 11th. Let's not forget that September 11th, 1941 is the day Pentagon construction began. 9/11/2001. 9 plus 11 plus 2001 is 41. 41. 1941, September 11th, the date Pentagon construction began. Here's why that happened on that date. If you write out USA, it equals 41. September 11th, a date with 41 numerology. They blame the terrorist attack on Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda paid for by the CIA. CIA equals 31. USA equals 41, the 13th prime. The nation with 13 stripes, 13 colonies. I think you see what I'm saying. So anyway, let's get to why April 3rd. April 3rd is the 93rd day of the year. World Trade Centers, 93 World Trade Center bombing. You might recall the first plane to hit the World Trade Centers on September 11th was Flight AA-11, hit floors 93 through 99. There was Flight 93 of 33 passengers that day. The new building that's erected there is called One World Trade Center, which sums to 93. The word propaganda has gematria of 93. They say the man responsible for the 93 World Trade Center bombings, the Blind Sheik 93. Talk about some propaganda. What 93 is, though, is the number for Saturn, the keeper of time, very important to the occult. Saturn equals 93. They tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. 93 is a ritual number for time. And September 11th, 2001 was a very special date in time. New Year's Day of the Coptic Christian calendar. Read about the Project for a New American Century, about creating a new Pearl Harbor to catapult a new foreign and domestic agenda for the United States of America, a document written a year earlier in 2000 by the think tank that became the Bush administration, PNAC, Project for a New American Century, New Pearl Harbor. And they got it on New Year's Day of the new century on the Coptic calendar. So anyhow, 93 special number, this pancake story coming on the 93rd day of the year. It's more propaganda. They also mentioned in the article how this comes 16 years later, 2001 to 2017. 16 has the gematria of 93. The word pancake has gematria of 39, the reflection of 93. New York's 39. Everything in New York's 39. Even the United Nations there is 39 floors tall. Pancake theory. You know, possibly coincidental or possibly not, pancake theory also sums to 142. Like terrorist, they say the attack from the first plane hitting the building to the second tower falling all the way was an hour and 42 minutes, an hour and 42, or 102. Just want you to know, Al-Qaeda in Jewish gematria, 102. Every year on September 11th, they keep the new structure that they built for the metro station there. They keep it open for 102 minutes, the Oculus. We're going to end up talking about this date, Tisha B'Av, and what it has to do with September 11th. Anyhow, they say this girl was from Connecticut. Now remember, the Bush political dynasty's from Connecticut. They're from New Haven, where Yale is, where Skull and Bones is. George H.W. Bush, the first president, the 41st president. You know, speaking of 41, let's get this in here. Skull and Bones equals 41. George Herbert Walker Bush, the Skull and Bones member, the 41st president. Skull and Bones is at Yale. His son was the 43rd president. Anyhow, they're from Connecticut. The family that has a lot to do with September 11th. On September 11th, 1990, Herbert Walker Bush, 11 years before the date of September 11th, 11 years later, the World Trade Centers look like big 11s. New York's the 11th state, 11 the master number. Anyway, 11 years to the day, Herbert Walker Bush gave the speech about the New World Order, a world freer of terror. And then what happens? Big terrorism strike 11 years to the day. Now, they said this girl, her father was a hero who was killed in the collapse of the towers. Connecticut 46, Hero 46. Psalm 46 in the King James Bible has a special 666 tribute, but that's another story. Let's just read the little bit of reporting on this. Caitlyn, the only time I've ever seen Caitlyn spelled like that's for the transgender Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Nelson was only 5, and let's not forget that Bruce Jenner from Connecticut, you know, he's from the town where Sandy Hook's from. He went to Sandy Hook High School. Anyway, Caitlyn Nelson was only 5 when her dad, a Port Authority hero cop, died on 9/11. In the 16 years she grew up without him, she found her father to be an inspiration, sharing his calling to help others. The friendly 20-year-old, I'll have you know that 20 is a number of death. They're saying this girl has passed, who tragically died Sunday after choking on pancakes during a charity event in Connecticut, was certified youth mental health counselor and volunteer at the Resiliency, remember that word, Center of Newtown, Connecticut, a nonprofit group helping those affected by the December 12th Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. The powers that shouldn't be really do treat us like we're just so stupid. They continually give us these bogus stories. You know, somebody dying from a pancake eating competition. It's just so blatant. Anyone with a brain right away will go, wait a minute, pancake collapse theory? But I just said anyone with a brain, and here we live in the land of Oz. You know, where people don't have a brain, a heart, or courage. By the way, Oz 41, like USA. You never seen my videos on The Wizard of Oz, you better check it out. Dorothy died for her role in that movie. Anyway, they're telling us this girl was a counselor for the Sandy Hook victims, which was another false flag, manufactured stunt by the government. I was working in a school the day Sandy Hook happened, and what I said that day is I haven't seen people freak out like this since September 11th. I worked in a private elementary slash middle school in Bellevue, Washington, where Microsoft is. And families were just pouring in that day to pick up their children early because they were terrified from what they saw in the news out of Connecticut. And I was busy that day working. I used to work 1,000,000 hours a day back when I had that job. And I just thought, what are they saying on the news to freak people out this bad that they are coming in and picking up their kids? We're here in Washington State all the way across the country from Connecticut. Anyway, it's false flag news. It's meant to impact people. It's for agenda. And the media loves to mock by creating these characters who are attached to these things. Remember after the theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado? Then there was the shooting in Sandy Hook, and they said that one of the Sandy Hook, people that lived in the town, he had just escaped the Aurora shooting. Then last year on March 22nd, we had the Belgian bombing, and they gave us the story of somebody named Mason Wells out of Utah, a Mormon missionary who supposedly survived the Boston Marathon bombing, the Friday, the November 13th Paris nightclub shooting, and the Belgium airport attack. One man on site, all corners of the world for all three of these things. The powers that shouldn't be, who are the Freemasons, the Zionist Jews, who call us Goy, they think we're just so stupid. And they must just laugh it up. I mean, it must be a nonstop comedy fest putting out this news and not getting called on it. The powers that shouldn't be probably love to watch my channel to see how few views the videos get, to see all the people trolling and saying what a crazy psychopath I am. They must love it. They must see, look at how dumb those Goy are. Zachary K. Hubbard comes and shows them how it's all done and they still don't get it. Let's continue with the reporting. It's about healing and helping. No, it's not, Truth Seeker. It's about mocking, tormenting, prodding. It's about healing and helping, Nelson told tapintoclark.net, a local New Jersey news website. It's about paying it forward. That's a good movie, actually. The Zionists, they love to give us a positive message every now and then just to mock us because they know that they give us this world full of temptation and hate, and most people will always take the wrong path. But that movie, it's about paying it forward. I mean, that's a great movie. That's the right mindset. Doing the right thing for your fellow man with the hope that they're going to go on and do the right thing for their fellow man. Why do you guys think I work so hard here for free every day? A social work major at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, Nelson went into convulsions Thursday night during the flapjack contest at the Greek Life charity dinner. Nelson, a junior at the school, ate 4 or 5 pancakes before she fell on the floor and started shaking uncontrollably, friends said. With regard to that mention of Greek life, I'm going to show you something about the Greeks and Skull and Bones. I just want to see if there's anything here with Greek life, 147 like Freemasonry. Here's what you need to know. Euclid of Alexandria, there it is, 322. Yale, Skull and Bones, 322. Ancient Mystery Religions, 322. Skull and Bones, 322, what that number's all about is Masonry and secret societies. I mean, Skull and Bones is an elite Masonic secret society. Masonics, 223. These are their numbers, 322, 223. Euclid of Alexandria, one of the most important mathematicians to the Freemasons. Their studies based on the ancient mystery religions of the world. This is why they identify by that number, and I think that's also why they mention the Greek life thing. With regards to Greece, Greece equals 43 like Yale. And November 18th, well, just so you can see this, I'll show you. November 18th is the 322nd day of the year, leaving 43 days remaining. Yale, 43, George Herbert Walker Bush, the 43rd president. His father was the 43rd vice president, and his brother was the 43rd governor of Florida. Anyway, November 18th, the 322nd day, leaving 43 days remaining. Heavy Yale numbers. Check that date in history, November 18th. Very interesting date. So now moving on, her name Caitlin with that interesting spelling sums to 68. 1968, the year 911 made the national emergency dialing code, the year World Trade Center construction began, the year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. His birthday is July 6th. From his birthday to September 11th is a span of 68 days. He graduated in 68. His father was the head of the CIA, 68. The World Trade Centers have everything to do with Solomon's Temple, which has everything to do with Freemasonry. Freemasonry based in the Old Testament, the time of Solomon's Temple. So many of their teachings have to do with Solomon's Temple. Solomon's Temple, 68. Tisha B'Av is the Jewish holy day of remembrance for the destruction of Solomon's Temple and the temple that was built after it. Tisha B'Av, 911. On 911, the two towers came down. Tisha B'Av is about remembering the destruction of the two towers. With regards to 2, it also has the gematria of 58. Also like Solomon's Temple. Also like Freemasonry. Also like secret society. When spelled correctly. Even like George W. Bush, the Skull and Bonesman. Read about the Rosicrucians. Rosicrucians, major influence on modern Freemasonry. Rosicrucian means Rose Cross. So anyhow, Solomon's Temple, George W. Bush, Caitlyn. You see how it's all coming together? This whole pancake choking story. BS propaganda. Caitlyn also has gematria 49 like Twin Towers. When you write out United States, it sums to 77. When you write out 77, it sums to 49. Washington, D.C. on the 77th meridian. The Twin Towers were approved by the 49th Governor Nelson Rockefeller. They were proposed by his family member David Rockefeller, who just passed by the numbers. See my playlist on the death of the Rockefellers, John D., Richard Rockefeller, and David Rockefeller. Important information. I just want to mention that Twin Towers also has gematria of 104 real quick, like Jerusalem. The new One World Trade Center's The new One World Trade Center is 104 stories tall. 7/4/1776, a date with 104 numerology. The United States of America is New Jerusalem. This is a nation that's always been ruled by Jewish banker tyrants who mock the masses. And look, gematria, it's a Jewish practice. Freemasonry is based in Jewish history. Freemasonry 139, America 139, Jewish state 139, Jerusalem 139. Check out this show, Westworld. You know, about a state created out west for elites, people that are essentially just drones serving the purpose of elites. Welcome to the United States of America. Westworld is a modern TV show trying to clue us in to the truth of our existence. You know, we're not robots like in Westworld, but we are people who were born and bred to be part of a system that's not really to our benefit. Sure, we can get our kicks in this world, but for so many of us, we're grinding and trying to stay afloat, and all this time we're being mocked and lied to and scared and terrorized and stolen from and overtaxed and given poisonous food and poisonous programming and had our time wasted in school. This is the West world we live in. Caitlyn Nelson, 147 as well, like Freemason, like conspiracy. Again, September 11th had to do a lot with the President of the United States, George Walker Bush, 147. There's 147 windows on the White House, not by coincidence. Also about the 16, a few more notes about this being 16 years later. 16 also has gematria of 33, like false flag. Think about Skull and Bones, Skull 33. The alumni are called Bonesmen 33. George W. Bush, born July 6th, 1946. Born in 46 in Connecticut. Think about it. But anyway, his date of birth, date with 33 numerology. 7 plus 6, 13, plus 1, 14, plus 9, 23, plus 4 more, 27, plus 6 more, 33. And if you don't think that's George W. Bush's birthday, look it up. I assure you it is. 68 days from September 11th. Skull 33, Bonesman 33, Masonry 33. Secrecy 33, graduated from the Masonic Secret Society 33 years before becoming president. Order 33, Federal 33. This girl was working in Newtown, home of the latest false flag. Well, I guess it's not the latest false flag anymore, but one of the latest. Newtown 33. When you write out 33, it sums to 156. So does the word architect. So does Magnuson Klemenkic Associates, the construction firm that built the World Trade Centers. 911, the 156th prime. The buildings came down 33 years after construction began. On the National Emergency Dialing Code date. They said that girl was part of the resiliency group, providing care for those who suffered trauma from Sandy Hook. This is all bullshit. Resiliency 119. 119, like how September 11th is written in most parts. She choked to death, 119. All-Seeing Eye 119, Star Red David 119, the Star Spangled Banner 119, Master Plan 119. There's more. Did you know that 112 is the alt dialing code for 911? If you doubt me on that, dial 112 in your phone, and then when the police pick up, say, "Oh, sorry, I was doubting Zachary K. Hubbard. Shouldn't have done that." Try it out, 112. You're going to be connected to 911. This is the national emergency dialing code for most countries in the world, 112. Anyway, Pancake Eating Contest 112, like Sandy Hook, where she was working, where supposedly the 112-pound Adam Lanza carried 10,000 pounds worth of guns and ammunition, like a young Rambo, where he targeted the first graders. Look how much they say Adam Lanza weighed. Mainstream reporting, all outlets said that this man weighed 112 pounds. The Sandy Hook shooter. It's because it's all a joke. It's all a joke. And all the jokes are told in the language of mathematics. Mathematics, 112. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Zionist. This is Zionism. Look how Zionist also has the 77. Huge number on September 11th. Zionist, 41. Huge number on September 11th. This nation always run by Zionists. Somebody is going to come along and say, "But Zach, the term Zionist didn't exist in 1700. Are you sure? Are you sure it didn't exist? I bet you it did. I bet you anything it existed. Bet you anything. So anyhow, Truth Seeker, if you're new here, you're not subscribed, you want to subscribe. I'm the hardest working man on YouTube. I keep up a blog that's full of new information today, things I haven't covered. All these videos are put out today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus number 7 that you're about to watch. Had to go hard on the 100th day of the year. In addition to this, there's about 15 more blog posts. Wrote some more on my book, which is what I'm going to do the rest of the day. I got to get the book out, but honestly, Truth Seeker, I'm trying to grow the audience and perfect the knowledge before I put it out because it's going to cost me a lot to publish paperback copies, and I don't want to end up sitting with a bunch of books that the world needs to be reading in my house while I'm already broke. You know what I mean? So help me spread this knowledge. Help me get the word out. Help me increase my following. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because people need to be led to sanity and justice. Things don't work out for me, I'm going to be the starving gematria artist looking for the next pancake eating contest myself just so I can get my belly full. If any of you want to help me out, I'm going to link in the description my email address. It's zachhubbard83@gmail.com. If you go to paypal.com, you can donate to people if you know their email. PayPal's a safe way to transfer money online. I'm not here for money, but I've been doing this for so long without pay that I've let my own situation go to disaster. Plus, this past Christmas Eve, there was a car driven into my house, creating all this damage, which I've now been left to pay over $5,000 of out of my own pocket, which for some reason I don't feel terrible about because I had to fight the insurance for over a month to get them to pay, a decent chunk. For a while, it was looking like I was going to have to pay over $15,000 to fix my own house because of what happened on Christmas Eve. I got it down to I only have to pay $5,000. That's still quite a bit, though. So anyway, Truth Seeker, I appreciate all of you who help. I'm going to link that email in the description. If you don't check the description of my videos, I always link all my blog posts, important other videos, the Gematrinator calculator. Check the descriptions of my videos. I don't do all this work for nothing. I put the information out there so people can use it. Until next time. With regards to this story coming at the beginning of April, the month known for April Fools, I just want to remind you that April Fools has the gematria of 147, just like the name Caitlin Nelson. Again, this is very obviously propaganda, and somebody's having a good laugh at what a sick joke it is. Until next time.